The way your body is built determines what you can do, determines how you move, how much strength you can produce, and where you're likely to break. Hi, my name is Ruben. I'm a registered kinesiologist, and a lot of my work is in strength developments post-injury. Quite often, we work with injuries to the lower back, to the hips, knees, upper back, and so on. Today, we're going to look at how skeletal structure can affect performance and vulnerabilities to injury. So let's start with this idea of the athletic continuum of body types. So you essentially have two endpoints. You have a wider, typically a stiffer structure, and you have a slimmer, slender, typically a more flexible body type. On the stiffer side, typically you will see someone more like a power lifter, wider frame, able to pack on a bit more muscle. On the other side, you tend to see more of a slimmer physique, more flexible physique. These are the yoga instructors, the Pilates instructors, those who are very, very flexible within their sporting demands. And in between these two, you have a blend, right? So you can have a track athlete, which tends to be in the middle, more biasing towards a stiffer frame. They can put on more muscle because they have to produce more forces. They tend to have broader shoulders and a stronger, larger hip structure. But then you take that same frame and you bring it more towards the slimmer, slender side. You have more of your Olympic swimmer, which is a slender physique, but can still be quite broad, but not as much muscle, not as dense as the track athlete. And so what's the main takeaway? Your anatomy informs your function. A wider frame can typically produce more force, can withstand more loads. This is because they have more potential to produce more muscle mass. Now, this is typically why you would see in certain sports, a certain physique is more beneficial for a given position. Football is a great example, American football, the NFL. You'll see the linemen as these larger guys with wider structures and a heavier build. If you take someone with a slender physique, a smaller shoulder structure, smaller hip structure, they don't have the capacity to match the force production of a larger, wider individual. But then again, that larger, wider individual doesn't have the capacity to do the same running and jumping and catching mechanics that a wide receiver would need to do. But then we could look at running, and you can see a marathon runner versus a sprinter. Both are the same. They're both running athletes. But the marathon runner is a slimmer build. They don't need to be as powerful. The sprinter, on the other hand, needs to be very stiff, very aggressive relative to the marathon runner so that they can produce speed and accelerate at a quicker rate. And so they tend to be taller, longer limbs, but broader shoulders and a wider, stronger hip structure. And there's variations across the continuum, so no one's always just one particular thing. That's why a lot of athletes can go across sports and do very well across sports. Now again, this is just one component, so this is how your skeletal structure can influence your potential for performance. There's still more things like absolute strength potential. There's still things such as power production, such as energy efficiency, and so on. If you have any questions, write them down below, and we'll get to them at a later video.